Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nursabbah, and now I will explain to you about my lesson plan. Okay, check this out. Okay, guys, this is my lesson plan. Name of teacher Nursabbah. Name of school MA Mutir Huda Hatungun. Subject English. Grade 12 is senior high school. Topic: do you know how to apply for a job? Chapter 4. Text type: short functional text, especially job application letter. Skill: writing and reading. For the time allocation for one meeting is 15 minutes. Okay, for the first A, core competence. As we all know, that core competence that have been taken from the government, and I think I don't have to explain it. Basic competence and indicator of competence achievement. For basic competence that are taken by government draft for the short functional text in form of job application letter. In basic competence, divide into two. There are 3.2 and 4.2, and in 4.2 it divided into two. There are 4.2.1 and 4.2.2. Let's see the indicator of competence achievement. For 3.2, there are 3.2.1 to identify short functional text structure about job application letter, and 3.2.2 to illustrate the short functional text about job application letter. And then indicator of competence achievement for 4.2, there are 4.2.1.1 to modify the short functional text about job application letter, and 4.2.2.1 to create and produce a short functional text about job application letter well. Next, learning objective. In the end of class, the teacher wants the student will be able to analyze short functional text job application letter through group discussion that have been prepared in a good grammar and meaningful way. The second, the student will be able to present their own short functional text about job application letter well, simply, and correctly. Attitude and value focus. First, religious; two, nationalist; integrity and mutual cooperation. D. Learning materials. First, regular learning materials. 1. Fact: starting, responding both expected or unexpected. 2. Concept: because all have the short functional text, so it could be social function. Job application letter is one of the official letter in the form of a business letter or a letter used to apply for a job. This is image. I will use paper and I divide to the student as the example. And next, 3. Principle: generic structure, purpose, for an initial assessment of whether the applicant is suitable for the position required, and also as writing evidence that we are applying for the job. Structure text: there are deadline, inside address, greeting, opening paragraph, body paragraph, closing paragraph, and closing greeting. Dominant language feature: using present tense. Example: I sent an application letter, blah blah blah. Procedure: write the simple example of the application letter. And then learning method: approach, scientific approach, learning model, communicative language teaching. For the learning media, I use paper, laptop, textbook, word marker. And for the learning source, first, buku siswa mata pelajaran bahasa Inggris kelas 12, and then the image I get from the Pinterest, module or learning material, and another relevant source. Okay, each teach and learning activity. Opening activity, the time 2 minutes. There are orientation, a perception, motivation, and giving reference. In the orientation, they are doing the opening by reciting salam and praying to start the lesson. It's for religious attitude. And then a perception, connecting the learning material from the previous level. Motivation, give the student motivation, giving reference, telling and explaining to the student. Next, main activity. There are simulation, viewing, observing, reading, listening. For the reading, students are asked to read material from textbook or other supporting books from the internet or related material. Search functional text in the form of job application letter. Listening, students are asked to listen to the material given by the teacher which is related to short functional text in form of job application on chapter 4, page 43. Create simple job application letter. Problem statement. Critical thinking. Teacher gives students the opportunity to identify as many questions as possible related to some example of job application letter and will be answered through learning activities. For example, asking the question about what is job application letter, what is the purpose of job application letter, what things should be in the job application letter, and the student will be able to answer the question. The meaning of job application letter is, the purpose of job application letter are, the things should be in the job application letter are. Next, data collection, collaboration and critical thinking. Students gather relevant information to answer the question that have been identified through the activity. Observing the object or phenomena, interviewing the informant, collecting the information, reading other source beside textbook. Students are asked to explore their knowledge by reading reference book about how to make structured job application letter. Next, responding activity. Learners do the following activity. The student will work with their classmates to analyze and structure the structure of job application letter based on the paper of example. Next, the student discuss it with the teacher and other friends. Discuss, reviewing, exchange the information about how to make a good job application letter. Next, data processing, critical thinking. Students in their group discuss processing the observational data in way, discussing about the data, how to describe short functional text about job application letter, how to identify structure of the short functional text about job application letter, how to make simple job application letter that are good and precise, that have been collected or summarized in previous activities. Process information that has been collected from the result of previous activities or meeting, as well as result of observing activities and the activity of gathering information that is going on. This is ongoing with the help of questions on the worksheet. Students doing their performance in making a simple job application think later. Next, verification. Critical thinking. Learners discuss the result of their observation and verify the result of their observation with data or theory in the source book through activity. Read the job application letter that they have made each and submit to the teacher. Generalization. Communication. Students are discussing to summarize the important point that emerged in the new learning activity carried out in the form of a written observation report about simple job application letters that are good and precise. Notes. During learning takes place, teacher observe the attitude of student in learning which includes attitude, discipline, self-confidence, behave honestly, is silent to deal with problem of responsibility, curiosity, care for the environment. Next, closing activity. Student making summary, creativity with the guidance of the teacher about the important point that emerged in the new learning activity carried out. The time is 1 minute. The teacher checking student work completed immediately. Students who have completed the project correctly are initiated and given a ranking number for the project assessment. Give award to group that have good performance and collaboration. Assessment, remedial, and enrichment. First, assessment technique. For the effective, for spiritual and social, there are the following are example of attitude assessment instrument like religious, nationalist, integrity, mutual cooperation, and this is the value. Next, for the cognitive, written test. For the psychomotoric performance, the students are able to write down the short functional text about job application letter. Next, rubric. This is the aspect of writing assessment, such as suitability, grammatical, vocabulary, clarity of meaning. And aspect of assessing reading, such as pronunciation, accuracy, fluency, intonation, and that. The last, acknowledged by Headmaster Muhammad Nur Ag, Banjarmasin, 20 March 2020, Teacher Nursabbah SPD. Okay guys, maybe that's all. The explanation of my lesson plan. I'm so sorry, there are so many mistakes. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.